One time, Jesus was sending a demon out of a man who could not talk. When the demon came out, the man was able to speak. The crowds were amazed. But some of the people said, "He uses the power of Satan to force demons out of people. Satan is the ruler of demons." Some others there wanted to test Jesus. They asked him to do a miracle as a sign from God. But he knew what they were thinking. So he said to them, "Every kingdom that fights against itself will be destroyed, and a family that fights against itself will break apart. So if Satan is fighting against himself, how will his kingdom survive? You say that I use the power of Satan to force out demons. But if I use Satan's power to force out demons, then what power do your people use when they force out demons? So your own people will prove that you are wrong. But I use the power of God to force out demons. This shows that God's kingdom has now come to you. When a strong man with many weapons guards his own house, the things in his house are safe. But suppose a stronger man comes and defeats him. The stronger man will take away the weapons that the first man trusted to keep his house safe. Then the stronger man will do what he wants with the other man's things. Whoever is not with me is against me, and anyone who does not work with me is working against me. When an evil spirit comes out of someone, it travels through dry places, looking for a place to rest, but it finds no place to rest. So it says, "I will go back to the home I left." When it comes back, it finds that home all neat and clean. Then the evil spirit goes out and brings back 7 other spirits more evil than itself. They all go and live there, and that person has even more trouble than before. As Jesus was saying these things, a woman with the people there called out to him, "Blessings from God belong to the woman who gave birth to you and fed you." But Jesus said, "The people who hear the teaching of God and obey it, they are the ones who have God's blessing." The crowd grew larger and larger. Jesus said, "The people who live today are evil. They ask for a miracle as a sign from God. But no miracle will be done to prove anything to them. The only sign will be the miracle that happened to Jonah. Jonah was a sign for those who lived in Nineveh. It is the same with the Son of Man. He will be a sign for the people of this time. On the judgment day, you people who live now will be compared with the queen of the south, and she will be a witness who shows how guilty you are. Why do I say this? Because she traveled from far, far away to listen to Solomon's wise teaching. And I tell you that someone greater than Solomon is right here, but you won't listen. On the judgment day, you people who live now will also be compared with the people from Nineveh, and they will be witnesses who show how guilty you are. I say this because when Jonah preached to those people, they changed their hearts and lives. And you are listening to someone greater than Jonah, but you refuse to change. No one takes a light and puts it under a bowl or hides it. Instead, they put it on a lampstand so that the people who come in can see. The only source of light for the body is the eye. When you look at people and want to help them, you are full of light. But when you look at people in a selfish way, you are full of darkness. So be careful. Don't let the light in you become darkness. If you are full of light, and there is no part of you that is dark, then you will be all bright, as though you have the light of a lamp shining on you. After Jesus had finished speaking, a Pharisee asked Jesus to eat with him. So he went and took a place at the table. But the Pharisee was surprised when he saw that Jesus did not wash his hands first before the meal. The Lord said to him, "The washing you Pharisees do is like cleaning only the outside of a cup or a dish. But what is inside you? You want only to cheat and hurt people. You are foolish. The same one who made what is outside also made what is inside. So pay attention to what is inside. Give to the people who need help. Then you will be fully clean. But it will be bad for you Pharisees. You give God 1/10 of the food you get, even your mint, your rue, and every other little plant in your garden. But you forget to be fair to others and to love God. These are the things you should do, and you should also continue to do those other things. It will be bad for you Pharisees because you love to have the most important seats in the synagogues. and you love for people to show respect to you in the marketplaces. It will be bad for you because you are like hidden graves. People walk on them without knowing it. One of the experts in the law said to Jesus, "Teacher, when you say these things about the Pharisees, you are criticizing our group too." Jesus answered, "It will be bad for you, you experts in the law. You make strict rules that are very hard for people to obey. You try to force others to obey your rules, but you yourselves don't even try to follow any of those rules. It will be bad for you because you build tombs for the prophets. But these are the same prophets your ancestors killed. And now you show all the people that you agree with what your ancestors did. They killed the prophets, and you build tombs for the prophets. This is why God, in His wisdom, said, 'I will send prophets and apostles to them. Some of my prophets and apostles will be killed by evil men. Others will be treated badly. So you people who live now will be punished for the deaths of all the prophets who were killed since the beginning of the world. You will be punished for the killing of Abel, and you will be punished for the killing of Zechariah, who was killed between the altar and the temple. Yes, I tell you that you people will be punished for them all. It will be bad for you, you experts in the law. You have taken away the key to learning about God. You yourselves would not learn, and you stopped others from learning too." When Jesus went out, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees began to give him much trouble. They tried to make him answer questions about many things. They were trying to find a way to catch Jesus saying something wrong. Many thousands of people came together. There were so many people that they were stepping on each other. Before Jesus spoke to the people, he said to his followers, "Be careful of the yeast of the Pharisees. I mean that they are hypocrites. Everything that is hidden will be shown, and everything that is secret will be made known. What you say in the dark will be told in the light, and what you whisper in a private room will be shouted from the top of the houses." Then Jesus said to the people, "I tell you, my friends, don't be afraid of people. They can kill the body, but after that, they can do nothing more to hurt you. I will show you the one to fear. You should fear God, who has the power to kill you and also to throw you into hell. Yes, He is the one you should fear. When birds are sold, 5 small birds cost only 2 pennies, but God does not forget any of them. Yes, God even knows how many hairs you have on your head. Don't be afraid. You are worth much more than many birds. I tell you, if you stand before others and are willing to say you believe in me, then I will say that you belong to me. I will say this in the presence of God's angels. But if you stand before others and say you do not believe in me, then I will say that you do not belong to me. I will say this in the presence of God's angels. Whoever says something against the Son of Man can be forgiven, but whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. When men bring you into the synagogues before the leaders and other important men, don't worry about what you will say. The Holy Spirit will teach you at that time what you should say. One of the men in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, our father just died and left some things for us. Tell my brother to share them with me." But Jesus said to him, "Who said I should be your judge or decide how to divide your father's things between you two?" Then Jesus said to them, "Be careful and guard against all kinds of greed. People do not get life from the many things they own." Then Jesus used this story. There was a rich man who had some land. His land grew a very good crop of food. He thought to himself, "What will I do? I have no place to keep all my crops." Then he said, "I know what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger barns. I will put all my wheat and good things together in my new barns. Then I can say to myself, I have many good things stored. I have saved enough for many years. Rest, eat, drink, and enjoy life." But God said to that man, "Foolish man, tonight you will die. So what about the things you prepared for yourself? Who will get those things now?" This is how it will be for anyone who saves things only for himself to God, that person is not rich. Jesus said to his followers, "So I tell you, don't worry about the things you need to live, what you will eat or what you will wear. Life is more important than food, and the body is more important than what you put on it. Look at the birds. They don't plant, harvest, or save food in houses or barns, but God feeds them, and you are worth much more than crows. None of you can add any time to your life by worrying about it. And if you can't do the little things, why worry about the big things? Think about how the wildflowers grow. They don't work or make clothes for themselves. But I tell you that even Solomon, the great and rich king, was not dressed as beautifully as one of these flowers. If God makes what grows in the field so beautiful, what do you think He will do for you? That's just grass. One day it's alive, and the next day someone throws it into a fire. But God cares enough to make it beautiful. Surely He will do much more for you. Your faith is so small. So don't always think about what you will eat or what you will drink. Don't worry about it. That's what all those people who don't know God are always thinking about. But your Father knows that you need these things. What you should be thinking about is God's kingdom. Then He will give you all these other things you need. Don't fear, little flock. Your Father wants to share His kingdom with you. Sell the things you have and give that money to those who need it. This is the only way you can keep your riches from being lost. You will be storing treasure in heaven that lasts forever. Thieves can't steal that treasure, and moths can't destroy it. Your heart will be where your treasure is.